Everybody, welcome to Managerial Accounting, Job Order Costing. This is part 4 of the comprehensive example. We're now going to be going through and inputting the values into our T accounts. So I already kind of walked through the question, and let's go to the Google Sheet. Okay, so right over here, raw materials, right? So we've got this question. I've already reviewed it. I'm going to have over here, my beginning raw materials inventory is going to be 60. My ending raw materials inventory is going to be 120. Over here, if I see 8/31/24, the ending inventory for the month begins the beginning for the second month or for the following month. So right over here, this is going to be at 60. Raw materials purchases during the month, this is going to be 500. We don't know what our indirect materials are. But we do know, though, that these indirect materials will ultimately be going down over here to factory overhead, right? So let's keep going. So right over here, our factory payroll, right, is at 540. My indirect labor, I'm not being given the amount, but I do know that my factory payroll is equal to my direct labor plus my indirect labor. So over here, this indirect labor is going to travel down ultimately to our factory overhead. So factory utilities, has the word factory in it. Where do we put it? In our factory overhead, we're going to put actual on the left and applied on the right. So over here, we're going to have factory utilities. We're going to have factory insurance, right? Insurance. So over here, factory utilities, factory insurance. I'm going to disregard the insurance corporate, right? And I'm not going to do that because those are not part of factory overhead. Over here for factory equipment depreciation, it's got the word factory rent and property taxes. So right over here, this is going to be 44 and this is going to be 27. Okay, so I'm also given information over here, completed and sold. This is going to be important information, but we're going to address this on the next part. That's really telling us about the movement of the different parts. Let's take a look over here. So we've got 4 different jobs. Wow, look at that. So we've got job 100, job 101, job 102, and job 103. And it tells us over here that there's a beginning work in process for each of these. But before we do that, look at this over here. Overhead is applied at a rate of 60% of direct labor cost. Where did this applied factory overhead come from? It's right over here. It's 0.6. The 70 times 0.6 is 42, and 20 times 0.6 is 12. Over here, job 103, there is no beginning work in process. And the reason is because it was started during the month. So this was not around on August 30th. Now, with these accounts, all I'm going to do with my beginning work in process values is put these into the T accounts accordingly. So my beginning work in process over here for job 100 was 193. My beginning work in process for job 101 was over here at 160. My beginning work in process for job 102 was at 42. My beginning work in process for job 103 is not applicable. Okay, let's go through and do this part over here. Now, it tells us that the production during September, we had 100 of direct materials from job 100, 80 from job 101, 200 from job 102, and then 50 for job 103. So over here, what does that mean? Well, it's during the month of September, which is where I'm focused. So right over here, basically 100, this is to job 100. Let me just make sure I got this correct. So right over here, 100 going to job 100, right? So where is this going to be going to? We'll just go ahead and put this in over here. So this is going to be going to, and this is my direct materials job 100. Okay, right over here, my next one is going to be 80. This is my direct materials to job 101. So over here, my direct materials for job 101 is going to be right over here at 80. All right, let's go down to the next one. Okay, so I got 180. Now I got to go to 200. So over here, this is to job 102. Again, these are all direct materials. Okay, so this is going to travel here basically to job 102. So these are going to be my direct materials, job 102. Now I'm going to go over here, and for job 103, my direct materials were 50. So over here, 50, let's come up with a new color. We'll go ahead and use green, right? So this is going to be the job 103. So this is my direct materials, job 103, and this is going to be coming from up here, okay? I'm going to leave the balancing of the T accounts to the next part, but I at least want to go through and do the process flow. Over here, direct labor. Okay, so direct labor for job 100. Okay, we're doing the same thing. So my direct labor, job 100, direct labor, job 101, direct labor, job 102. And I'm going to have direct labor, job 103. So right over here, my direct labor for job 100 is 150, job 101 is 90, job 102 is 160, job 103 is going to be 60, right? So I'm just pulling these amounts right over here. Just check our numbers again. It's 150, 90, 160, and 60, 150, 90, 160, and 60. Okay, so these are all going to go over here. Direct labor, job 100, this amount is going to be 150. Direct labor, job 101, this amount over here is going to be 90. Direct labor, job 102, this amount is going to be 160, and I made a mistake. This has to be 200. Okay, so, and right down over here, direct labor, job 103, this amount is 60. Okay, when I go through and close it out, I'll go through and put those other amounts in. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do, and we'll just go ahead and do this now, is what is going to be my applied factory overhead? Well, as I was showing you a little bit earlier, the relationship is 60% of direct labor, right? If you look at that beginning WIP, 80% times 0.6 is 48, 70 times 0.6 is 42. So my applied factory overhead is going to be right over here, or 60% times each of these amounts. Okay, so what happens over here is going to be my applied factory overhead for job 100 is going to be 150 times 0.6. My applied factory overhead is basically going to be 90 times 0.6. My applied factory overhead is going to be 160 times 0.6. And over here, my applied factory overhead is going to be 60 times 0.6. So this is 160 times 0.6. This is going to be 60 times 0.6. So that's where all these numbers are coming from. But where do they come from? They're coming, I'm basically applying them to the jobs. So they have to come over here from the applied overhead because I'm applying it now. So here to job 100, to job 102, to job 103, to job 104. Oh God, I missed one. God, Tchaikovsky, what are you doing? To job 101, to job 102, and this is to job 103. So over here, I've got to job 101. My applied overhead was 90. Over here, it was 54. Over here, it was 96. And then lastly, for job 103, it was 36. So this is what I've done so far to go through and to set up this problem. On the next video that we're going to go ahead and go through and do is we're going to be looking at how do we go through and determine indirect materials, indirect labor, cost of goods manufactured, and then our ending work in process account. So that's what we'll do on the next video. But for now, I want to thank you so much for joining me here today. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below. Appreciate you liking and subscribing to the videos, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day.